Thank you for joining the ETRAGE webinar. Today we look at walking you through the what and why to have a Windchill upgrade and how ETRAGE can help. Please note that everyone is muted. You will need to use that Q&A icon for any questions you have during today's session. Those can be submitted at any time. Additionally, a recording of today's webinar will be available online to rewatch and share with any of your colleagues. And everyone registered will receive a link via email when it's available later this week. Again, thanks for being here. I'm Sinead, and joining me today is Shai, our Senior Technical Specialist. We have both been in the PTC and manufacturing space for over a decade. Our team works hand in hand with design and manufacturing companies on their PLM adoption, whether that's a fresh implementation, expansion from product data management to full lifecycle management, even tuning your processes, simplifying, getting all departments involved. We provide solutions for the gaps within your digital thread to address your business needs. We also provide Windchill upgrades every 3 to 4 years for our customers. Today, I'll do a brief introduction of ETRAGE, and then I'll hand things over to Shai, who will walk you through the what's and why companies upgrade their Windchill every 3 to 4 years. And then we will have time for your questions. So ETRAGE has been a PTC partner for over 20 years. We started as a software development company, and then we've expanded our offering to support product lifecycle management adoption to extend beyond engineering and across your entire manufacturing enterprise. Our global development and support teams address your PLM adoption by supporting your systems, your processes, and your people. Whether you are a startup or you've been in business for over 100 years, all of our software solutions have been developed through requests by companies like you. This means that if you have an issue, talk to us and we're happy to develop a solution that fits your business needs. And with that, Shai, I hand it over to you. Shai, you're muted.
Oh, thanks, Sinead. I'll start off here by framing the conversation around a persona, right? Or I guess 3 personas in this case, right? So typically there are, 3 people in this conversation about, why you upgrade, right? Oftentimes there's the PLM or CAD manager, right? So you own Windchill day to day, right? You know the quirks, the undocumented customizations, and what a bad upgrade looks like, firsthand or from the forums. And you're often the only person in your organization who truly understands the environment. And that's a heavy position to be in. Right? And then you have the engineering director, and you care about the outcome. Right? Engineers are productive, BOMs are accurate, change processes intact, and you want to stay current and secure without it becoming a 6-month disruption to your production and your product development timeline. And then finally, you have the IT director or the CIO. Right? And you're accountable for, uptime, security posture, and integration health. Right? Now, you recently, you may have heard, I want to say we're recording this, I think March or so of 2026, and April, I should say, or May of 2026 is when we're recording this webinar. But recently, a couple months ago, there was CVSS 10 level vulnerability in Windchill, right? And as an IT director, you're wondering to yourself, oh, you just read about that. Are we exposed? Right. Well, here's what all 3 have in common, right? What you actually want is not a new version of Windchill. What you want is certainty. Right? Certainty that the upgrade will go smoothly, the data will be intact, and you won't be the one answering for it if something goes wrong. Now, four of the most common reasons, right, why companies upgrade Windchill, right? These are, the everyday business pressures that are already building in most environments. One is, PTC end of support, right? And so PTC retires Windchill versions on a published schedule. Once your version reaches its end of life, security patches, bug fixes, and support stops. If something breaks, PTC's answer is upgrade first, and then we'll talk. And many organizations are already operating in this zone. Second, you have operating system and infrastructure end of life. So Windchill runs on specific versions of Java, Oracle or SQL Server, and Windows Server or supported Linux distributions. When those underlying components reach vendor end of life, upgrading Windchill becomes unavoidable, regardless of whether you plan for it. Next is CAD tool compatibility, and this is a big one we see customers upgrading for. And it's the fact that Windchill is tightly coupled to Creo and also integrates with other CAD applications, SolidWorks, CATIA, NX, and several others as well. So when engineering needs to upgrade their CAD tools, Windchill compatibility becomes the blocking issue, and it lands on the PLM team's desk to solve. And then finally, compliance and audit risk. So for manufacturers under, ISO 9001, FDA 21 CFR Part 820 or AS 9100, running unsupported PLM software is increasingly a real audit exposure. Auditors are asking directly, what version are you on, and is it still supported? Now, those four things, end of support, CAD walls, infrastructure end of life, compliance. Those are what you put in the slide deck. Those are the things you share, publicly in the organization. Okay? These next four are what you don't say out loud, but you feel every time a Windchill upgrade comes up. First is the fear of being the one who broke it. Your Windchill system holds every part number, every ECR, every BOM going back years. A corrupted database after a bad upgrade isn't just a technical failure, it's a career-defining moment. Now, next is isolation under pressure. One or two people truly understand the depth of a Windchill environment. If something fails at 11 p.m., PTC technical support may take 48 hours to respond. You're alone with Java stack traces. Also, the earned distrust of consultants. The PTC community forums are full of accounts of partners who gave incorrect guidance or disappeared when things went sideways. The skepticism is rational and earned. Also, finally, then, the paralysis of compounding delay then adds into all of this, right? Is the fact that you need to upgrade, but every year you don't, the gap widens and the upgrade gets harder. Starting feels riskier than waiting until suddenly it isn't. So, deferring an upgrade, right, is really not just avoiding a cost, right? It is an accumulating one. Right? You may have, a triple upgrade or more, right? If you actually do defer an upgrade and you don't make it happen, right? You may end up having to jump 3 versions, right? Because not every upgrade has a direct 1 version jump, right? Each step is going to be its own, we'll factor in multiple, upgrade jumps within that, and that could increase the project timeline and cost. Right? You also have the risk of, unpatchable exposure, right? So the next critical CVE end of life version where there's no patch, emergency upgrade on someone else's timeline. Or there's also the customization debt, right? If you have a lot of customizations in Windchill, right, every year of custom code means more redeployment work, and it multiplies across intermediate steps. And then finally, when a security incident or infrastructure deadline forces your hand, it'll always cost more than it would have been with a plan. So again, that's because eventually you may have emergency costs or that are associated with being forced to upgrade. Uh, and that's one of the things that may have happened in this scenario here, or this may be one of the forcing functions of that, right? So in March of 2026, PTC issued an urgent advisory for CVE 2026-4681. It's a remote code execution. No authentication required. Any attacker with network access can potentially execute arbitrary commands on your Windchill server. CVSS score 10, which is the maximum. CISA and Germany's BSI both issued advisories. The German federal police dispatched officers to companies in the middle of the night, which was unprecedented. PTC's direct email said there's credible evidence of an imminent threat. IOCs released so defenders could check whether, or I guess indications of compromise are released so defenders could check whether systems had been targeted. And for older unsupported versions prior to Windchill 11 MO30, standard workaround may need manual alteration, and PTC directed those customers to open a support case. So again, big impact situation, right? Now you have two responses to that, both triggered by the same CVE. Right? On the left, the first one, a customer running Windchill so old the standard workaround needed manual alteration. They had no established partner, no maintenance agreement. And the outcome was a near six-figure engagement to address the situation. No runway. The second, on the right, this was an ETRAGE maintenance agreement customer. At midnight on Friday, their engineering manager receives the CVE 2026-4681 alert. At 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, he emailed us, "Would you guys be able to take care of this?" Approximately 1 hour later, the response was, "Hey, it's been taken care of already." And his reply, "Awesome, thank you." The patch had already been applied. He did not even need to ask. Same vulnerability, same Friday night, very different Saturday mornings. Now, you made a long-term investment in enterprise PLM, traceability, change control, data integrity, compliance documentation. But somewhere along the way, underinvestment in the admin team, budget cycles that kept deprioritizing the upgrade, accumulated complexity. The system designed to protect your organization started becoming a liability. And a system designed to de-risk your product development, it should not itself become your organization's biggest operational risk. And that's the problem we help solve. We know what a bad Windchill upgrade looks like. We've seen the 2 a.m. calls, the databases that came back corrupt. We know why most organizations don't trust their first PLM consultant. On authority, we have 20 plus years of Windchill expertise doing upgrades across versions 9.x all the way through to 13. And we do a rehearsal first methodology every time. On our most recent upgrade, we had 2 tickets post go live, right? And both of them were on the user side. And when the CVE, incident hit our maintenance agreement customer, the response time was 1 hour. And again, totally, right? We've completed about 70 upgrades and counting so far across our organization in terms of our history. Right? And so we're not new to this game. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. And we have the expertise to get you across. And so the upgrade plan is simple, right? Step one is a health check, right? Before anything, we audit your environment, current version, all customizations, every integration dependency, database state, the full picture. You get the complete report and you own it. No obligation attached whatsoever. Step two is an upgrade roadmap, and which means based on the health check, we define the exact upgrade path, map your environments, the environments needed, identify risks specific to your system, and confirm the timeline. Documented and agreed upon before a single line of code is touched. Now, if you choose to go on with us, right, step three will be a kickoff call. We align your team, technical leads, project stakeholders on the process, each party's responsibilities before the work begins, so there's no surprises. And then step four, rehearsal runs, right, where we have multiple, complete upgrade passes in non-production environments using a structured smoke test list covering every integration, every workflow, every edge case. Benefits get surfaced here, not in your production environment. And so step five, the production upgrade, that's scheduled on a weekend by default to minimize impact to your operations. We can also sync any planned maintenance or downtime windows your organization already has on the calendar. And so again, it's one weekend planned to the minute. Right? And then there's post go live support, right? Hypercare monitoring, rapid response for weeks post upgrade. And for organizations that want it, you also offer a maintenance agreement. That means the next critical patch is applied before you even need to ask about it. So here's what I want to leave you with. The single best first step, whether you're ready to upgrade today, 6 months from now, or just trying to understand where you stand. Right? It's a health check. And here's what that actually includes. Your current Windchill version, support status, and end of life timeline, a WinDU diagnostic scan. It surfaces data integrity issues and pre-upgrade problems before any upgrade can begin. The customization inventory and redeployment complexity assessment, third-party integration and dependency mapping, your CAD tools, ERP, OS database versions, and your upgrade path with a scope and effort estimate, so you can have an informed budget conversation. The report is yours, no obligation, take it anywhere. Now, a word on the note at the bottom, I should also mention, many customers choose to bundle in SSO or Active Directory or a remote administration of Windchill Services Agreement into the same project window. Since you're already planning a cutover, it adds no extra downtime. It's worth knowing and it's worth asking about. Now, let me bring this back to the two paths. Without a plan, your version hits end of life, no more patches, the next CVE drops, and you can't apply it. CAD upgrades blocked, an emergency forces your hand, near six-figure cost, when auditor flags the unsupported PLM environment, engineers lose confidence in the system, and the upgrade you deferred, it's now 3 projects. On the right, this is a real customer. ETRAGE upgraded their Windchill environment, currently engaged in our remote maintenance support agreement. When the CVE 2020-681 hit, the CVS 10 patch was confirmed 1 hour on a Saturday morning. Their system was current and patched before the manager's coffee was hot. CAD and PLM in lockstep, 1 production weekend. Now, or company, I should say, there were 2 user site tickets. A CAD supervisor said afterwards, this is significantly smoother than anyone here anticipated. You get to choose which of these organizations you are. I want to close with actual numbers from one of our more recent upgrades. because proof is more valuable than promises. The quote is real. CAD supervisor at a manufacturing organization said, again, significantly smoother than anyone here anticipated. And here's what's behind that. We had 2 post-go live support tickets. One came from a user who did not clear their browser cache as advised beforehand, and one came from a user who was advised to back up their working data to the Windchill vault before the production weekend, and they didn't. Neither was a system issue. One production weekend, after all rehearsals done, smoke tests passed, Monday morning, engineers walked in and everything worked. 0 data integrity issues, every customization redeployed and validated, every integration tested, every workflow confirmed, nothing left to chance. That's the standard we aim for every time. Now, 5 questions that come up in almost every conversation. How long does a Windchill upgrade take, even a double or triple upgrade? Right? And for us, it's 1 production weekend. Through our methodology, all rehearsal passes run in non-production environments. Right? So the production cutover is the fastest part. Even multi-step upgrades cutover in a single planned weekend. Now, what if we have heavily customized Windchill, right? And that's one of the things the health check surfaces, right? We inventory every customization and assess whether it's still needed or replaceable by out-of-the-box functionality in the new version, and then redeploy or retire it cleanly before production. Next, can we add SSO or Active Directory at the same time? Yes, and we do recommend it. You're already in a maintenance window, and so adding SSO or AD uses the same planned outage, and no additional production downtime is required. Now, another question is, what if we're already on an end of life or very old version, right? And for most organizations with a single Windchill environment, this is still a direct upgrade path with just a larger version gap to close, right? The health check tells you exactly where you stand and what the path looks like. Intermediate steps can occur in specific configurations, but they're not really the norm, I would say. And finally, what does the health check report include, and why is it complementary? The health check will include your current version and support status, WinView diagnostic findings, customization inventory, integration and dependency mapping, an upgrade path and scope and effort estimate. And it's all complementary because informed customers, we believe, make better partners. So you own the report, no strings attached. So your next step is simple. Book a complimentary Windchill health check with ETRAGE. It's free and you own the report. What you'll walk away with is a clear, documented picture of your Windchill environment, version, upgrade path, and everything you need. Right? It's a starting point for any serious conversation about what comes next. And so you can go to our website, etrage.com, and fill out the form in the About Us page, right? And we'll be more than happy to work with you.
Shay. So at this time, if there's any questions beyond the QFAs that Shay, FAQs that Shay just went through, this is the time to start typing. While we wait to see if any additional questions come up, we're going to share with you some of our up and coming events. So ETRAGE presents design and manufacturing webinars every 2 weeks. We also provide public and private Creo and Windchill training. And you can see that one of our upcoming webinars is around managing your non-CAD data. Our solution includes revision control, workflows, promotion requests, all the good things that are a part of the CAD processes. We are able to help you out with your non-CAD documentation. All of our upcoming classes can also be found on etrage.com. doesn't look like we have any questions. So with that, as we wrap up today's webinar, we do invite you to learn more about ETRAGE software and service solutions from our past webinars, which can be found on our website. In addition, you can also find us on our YouTube channel. We also invite you to reach out. We're happy to address any challenges that you're having around your company's PLM adoption, or if you're thinking about a PLM adoption. Companies who may be moving from basic CAD vaulting to true product lifecycle management, we're happy to help you move on that journey. Additionally, I want to share with you one of the services that we offered, and Shei addressed this during his presentation as well. We do offer annual proactive support and user help desk, and you can see that we offer multiple levels depending on what your company needs. We can host your Windchill environment. We can support it on-prem, as well as provide flex hours, and you decide how you want to use us. If you're curious, again, reach out and we're happy to discuss your options and what may fit your company best. And with that, please call or email us if you have any questions or concerns. We will send out a link to today's recording so that you can, again, rewatch or share with your colleagues. From everyone at ETRAGE, we thank you for spending your time with us today, and we will see you next time.